inspelning, det förstår så mekanismer som... Oh! Hello there. Let me fix something for you guys real quick. I really ought to fix a door. Studying up for my final tomorrow in psychology. Can take a break from that though. Let's talk about these. Let's talk a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, not too bad. Because earlier today, on a certain Discord server that I'll actually plug a little link to down in the description, dedicated to Dungeons and Dragons, it came up the topic of XP and how that works. Now, the thing that prompted this was a certain person's way of dividing up XP, or rather, not doing so. That I noted, that being that all members of the party got the same amount of XP from a monster, that being the amount of XP the monster is assigned. So, if I'm not wrong, a goblin gives 10 XP each, and thus each player would get 10 XP from it, which is a way to handle it, I suppose, but it comes with a lot of flaws. Now, the thing that prompted this was me sending from my sources as well, the Dungeon Master Guide for 5th edition. On page 206, it describes how you're supposed to divide up the XP among the people who helped slay the monster or capture it, or however you defeated it. Now, this prompted onwards to ideas of, well, XP won't you level very slowly, and the idea is, yeah, you level slowly in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. And that is because you have 20 levels. That is the max level of any character. Of course, then you have expertise, have prestige classes and stuff, but I haven't dabbled into that, so I can't say how much that would change things. But we came to talk about, well, past editions then, and I brought up now, fair disclaimer, I have not Dungeon Master for a long time, maybe 2 years max, maybe 3. And I've not tried older editions, but I do know a bit about them through just watching videos. And I do know that in past editions, undead have drained XP, which then would make sense that you would, maybe in past editions, earn your XP faster, because it is a resource in the same way that gold is. You would also be able to use your XP to summon certain things. It's not in the same way as 5th edition, where your XP, you have it, where, and I'll, again, a disclaimer, I personally prefer to use milestone leveling. That is because I can thematically fit it with whatever story is being woven by these little bastards. Whereas XP, I feel sometimes you just want that epic moment of leveling up right after you beat the big bad. So, looking at this, XP, that is an interesting question. It went on to spawning the idea of this video, which I've been considering for a bit, and now I finally had an excuse to make one. And I asked for a few questions what my thoughts are, and one of them was, would I consider the idea of returning XP draining into games? Now, personally, in my games, no. But that's mainly because, as I said, I'm using milestones. So XP isn't a resource in the same way. When you level up in my games, if we were to count XP, you would be right at the point where you're leveled up, so XP draining would take you down a level. And I don't want that. If you're playing with XP, maybe. It would certainly higher the stakes to some degrees. It would take some fiddling. Again, not the most read up on older editions. Then came a question from Hunter, our dear little zombie boy, about monsters. Now, let's propose a situation. You have a player in your party who has the dungeon, who has the monster manual, and they sometimes flick through it. Maybe, let's just say, let's just open it up randomly. Night Hag. They know the stat block for the Night Hag, or we need something weaker, something more standard, something weak that everyone knows, that everyone will have to fight at some point in their lives because they are ever present, because they'll never let you go. Now, sometimes you build up to things and they just fall apart in your hands because you're an idiot. Oops, I didn't have a nice open as it. There we go. Goblins. So let's say they know the goblin stat block inside and out. Maybe they themselves are a dungeon master and they run Lost Mines of Phandelver, where the goblins are the first things you fight. They know their nimble escape. They know their scimitar. They know their dexterity. They know that they have 15 armor class and 7 health, or 2d6. So, what then? How do we handle this? Well, first thing, in my opinion, is that this game, in my opinion, is a matter of mutual trust. When I play with my players, I trust that they'll roleplay appropriate to their characters. Their character maybe don't know what to do against the beholder. Maybe they think, oh yeah, hold up the magical shield, it was fine. Even though the player knows it has the anti-magic cone and that shield is gonna be just a +2. Meanwhile, that mutual trust also falls on me as the dungeon master to roleplay the monsters, especially bestial ones, without knowing about the players, which I once did with a whole goblin camp, and the druid cast Moonbeam on them all. Oh god. Goblins, don't bunch up against the druid with Moonbeam. But if the goblins don't know about it, it makes sense that they would want to bunch up and be as close to each other as possible to be able to try and jump away or rely on each other to boost morale. And then, well, that's how the monster works. But you, as the dungeon master, could very well spread them out, knowing that that wizard has fireball and will incinerate them all if they're bunched together. Again, mutual trust. But Hunter suggested the idea of Homebrew, tweaking, fixing them up ever so slightly, and personally, I find this to be a wonderful thing to do. I love tweaking ever so slightly on monsters. Going to D&D Beyond and opening the Create Monster section, taking a monster and buffing it a bit, maybe tweaking it so it fits more dexterity based or more strength based. It's amazingly fun to play around with this. And it can put those players who just metagame on their toes when they realize that, oh shit, that doesn't hit. Right. Or, oh yeah, there's a goblin, we're fine. Yeah, and it's also a second level spellcaster. Wait, what? Firebolts. Toss in a few player levels. Like, give the goblin a first level, one level of wizard. Make the bugbear a 4th level, or just a 2nd level fighter, and give them second wind. And then as the players are starting to beat them down, they roar as they activate second wind and boost up their health a bit again. It can be amazing moments of roleplay. Now, let me get back to one thing. Now, this is a bit of a personal pet peeve, and the person to Anthony of that server, and he's DMing. Now, I will say this. Personally, I see it as being no way of playing Dungeons and Dragons that is really wrong, per se. Because, well, let's get the player's handbook here. I think it puts it very well at the very start of it. Full of adventure. Once upon a time. Above all else, D&D is yours. The friendship you make around the table will be unique. The adventures you embark on. These will be your D&D in your personal corner universe. Go forth, read the rules of the game and the story of its worlds, but always remember that you are the one who brings them to life. There is nothing without a spark of life that you give them. That's not necessarily the part I was looking for, but it gives the same essence. Basically, nothing in the rule books are set in stone. You could use the XP and just give everyone the same XP that the monster says it should give. The problem at that point is that you're messing with a rule that is pretty core to how the leveling system, which is a basic structure of the rules, function, but you could very well do it. And then I'd say slap on some level draining creatures, give them XP draining. But when dungeon mastering, remember to narrate things. That is, if I have one thing that I want to stress to anyone who wants to get into dungeon mastering, if you want impactful moments and you want this to be a story game, if you want to play it as a combat game, go ahead. I'm not gonna stop you. Go for dungeon crawl. It's gonna be epic, but it's gonna be a number crunching. It's gonna be video game-ish. For me, it's a story game, and I want to narrate things. As you charge up, you hold out your sword and plunge it into the orc's chest, twisting it ever so slightly as you look into their eyes and grin. You know it's gonna whack you. You don't give a damn. As the orc raises its hand, slamming down, I use my bonus action, my reaction to do this. Alright. You're just about to hit you as the force of the divine force of your cleric pushes it aside, and the blow misses your head, barely not cracking your skull open. There comes those moments where narration is what brings this game to life. One perfect example, seeing Critical Role, which is the podcast that I watch of D&D, the only one, because I can't sink my teeth into more. Sad but true. How do you want to do this? When you hear Matt say those words, you know what's about to come, especially in epic moments, and that is just the entire table flipping their shit over, yes, we beat it. That, to me, is what Dungeons & Dragons is all about. Those epic moments that last. You made a legend. And also, the somber moments of roleplay, where a party member has died, or left, and the characters are wondering what to do. If you want more of this stuff, just tell me. I might do more. But for now, I've got reading to do. See y'all.